can I go back to the days at Fraser Health? Because I think that, what was done there. So having multiple health authorities, it's sort of every day in places like the US right now, where you have so many integrated hospitals together, but it's not so much in Canada. So, but what were the things that I think helped you to be successful in that operation? Because clearly, I think it worked. I think the sort of the integration of those different programs was
Mm-hmm.
successful.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think was the key to that success? What were the several keys? Probably it can't be attributed to one thing, but what was it for you that allowed you to actually leave that as a successful outcome
Mm-hmm.
in your journey?
Yeah, I mean, I really think it was taking the time to to have the right collaboration with all of the players. As you can imagine, if you're a small hospital and all of a sudden now you have to be a part of this big program, and there's big tertiary hospitals, that kind of seem like they wield the power.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that can be an intimidating situation. And I think what we had to really help all of the players understand is that everybody was going to learn from everybody. It wasn't just the small hospitals that were going to gain all of the knowledge from the large ones. Sometimes large hospitals, and I experienced this when I went from Vancouver Coastal to Fraser. Coastal was really well funded because it had all of the big quaternary services there.
Yeah.
Fraser was growing like crazy and it wasn't as well funded. And so, you know, sometimes they had to be super creative and really efficient with the way that they did things versus when you have more supports. You learn to do one or two things, but you don't learn to do five things and be a jack of all trade because you don't have to. Whereas, at Fraser, I learned some new tricks that I wouldn't have learned ever at Coastal because someone else was doing that. I'll never forget my first day at Fraser. I was getting my orientation and I was saying, okay, so who's going to do that? And they would say, well, that would be you. Oh, who's going to do that? Well, that would be you. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I will. So that kind of a mentality was really important in the integration process between the medium, and the large hospitals, and we really tried to create win-wins. And I think the biggest win during that time is that we were having incredible problems. If you were a small hospital, you were having big problems trying to transfer a patient that needed to be transferred to a higher level of care
Mm-hmm.
because the bigger hospitals would say, no bed, no bed, no bed. If you were a big hospital, you were having incredible trouble repatriating patients to those small hospitals. So that was one of the first things that we worked on because we wanted to get a quick win. We wanted them to see that actually they worked better together than when they were separate. So, we thought about the hotspots, which was like ED capacity issues and demand challenges, and that's what we focused on first.